Hello, movie buffs and techies, how are you? Today we're gonna combine two of our favorite things together, movie and the code. I am gonna show you how to build a Netflix clone, Netflixy, using React, Netlify Serverless Functions, and the TMDB API. And in the end of this video, you're gonna have your own personal movie streaming service that you're gonna be so proud to share with your friends and your family. But before we dive into the code, let me show you what we're gonna build in this video. Here is a quick demo of the Netflix clone we're going to create. I name it Netflixy. Isn't it cute? So as you can see, we have a nav bar on the top of the page with our Netflixy logo and profile picture. When you scroll down, the nav bar will have a black background to make it stand out. Then we have our feature movie section, which Netflix calls it billboard. We have the title and the description here, and when you click the play button, the image will change to its trailer video. How nice is that? Next, we have our main movie section, and when you hover on the images, it will have a nice hover effect. And you can also scroll to the left or to the right to see more movies. If you want to see its trailer, just click on the image and it will be presented below. Click it again, it will disappear. Now that you've seen the demo, let me quickly explain the technologies we'll be using for this project. We will be using React to build the front end, which will allow us to create a responsive and interactive user interface. To get the movie data for our app, we are not going to build our own database. Instead, we're going to use the TMDB API. However, we are not going to making API calls in our front-end code. Instead, we're going to make API calls in the back-end using Netlify Serverless Functions. So this will allow us to keep our API key hidden and cache the data we fetch to improve the performance of our app. And I also think it's a perfect opportunity to practice Netlify functions, so why not? Finally, we're gonna deploy our app on Netlify using its CLI. Alright, got my coffee, hope you do too. Let's dive into the code. Since we're gonna use the TMDB API, we need its API key. If you don't have it, please come to this website, which is the official doc for TMDB API, and I will put this link in the description of this video, and follow the instructions to apply for your own free API key before we move on. And since I already got my API key and put it on my clipboard, we are ready to go. Now let's create a React app, and I'm gonna name it Netflixy demo. It's gonna take a while, be patient. Okay, we got it. Let me open in my code editor, which is VS Code. What is it called? Netflixy demo. Okay, so I'm just going to do some basic configs. We're not going to do test for this project, so I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to delete this as well. We're not going to import this one because we deleted. Not test. Okay, I really like to start my React project from scratch, so I'm gonna delete all these things. The CSS file as well, make it empty. Okay, let's try to start it. Okay, we got it here. Now let's create a .env file to put our API key inside. Env file. We're gonna name it TMDB API Key, and I'm gonna paste my key here and save it. Great. Okay, we have our basic React app setting up, and now we need to move on to the next step, which is the Netlify Serverless Functions. To use these functions, let us first install Netlify CLI, which will be really useful for this project. Some of you might already have the Netlify CLI installed. You can try to run Netlify to verify if you have this installed. Okay, if you see this bunch of information, it means you have this installed on your laptop, but if not, you can run npm I netlify CLI. We installed it globally, but I have it on my laptop, so we're just gonna skip this step. Since we have Netlify CLI installed, let's create a Netlify TOML file to set up some configurations. Netlify.toml file. Okay, let's put this inside it. npm run functions. Let's tell Netlify to use the functions folder. We're going to create it later. Functions and publish. It's using a build. All right. After this configurations are done, let's create it. Oh no. Let's create a functions file to write our serverless functions. All right. So let's pause here and think a little bit about the logic of our API calls. So I'm thinking for our project, we can first make the API calls to get all the movie genres, and under each genre, we get a list of movies. So let's write the first function, get genre. Did I spell it right? Get genres.js. Because we're going to make API calls to the TMDB API, we are going to use XO package, which I already installed here. But if you haven't installed the XO package, you can run npm I XOs to install it on your laptop, or you can use notefetch package as well, just the one you like. I have the XO installed, so I'm going to just use it. Const XOs, you require XOs. Well, I just prefer XOs over notefetch because I just think it is easier to use. So I can like always use XOs for my project. Because we're also going to use the API key and our .env files. So I'm going to require .env. Oops, config. Okay, let's write our function. The way Netlify serverless function works is you need to write exports.handler. And we're gonna, this is async function. We're gonna put async keywords here. This API call is not gonna take any arguments. So let's get the data out. Don't forget await keywords, and we're going to use axos.get, and here is the URL, and the endpoint we're going to use is this one. Oh, I got two slash here. Don't forget to put our API key there as a query script string. API key. We're gonna get it from our env file, process.env what we call it, TMDB API key. All right. After we get the data, we're gonna return a status code with 200 and body with JSON stringify our data. Because we're going to use the async await keywords here, we're going to wrap it in a try catch bracket. Try. catch. If we have the arrow, we are gonna return a status code with 500 and the arrow itself. Oops. Let's convert to string. Okay, and this is the function. We're gonna get all the movie genres, and we're gonna write another function to get the movies under each genre. Let's create another one called get movies. Movies.js. Like the last one, we're gonna use Axios. Require. And our API key in the .env file. Let's export handler. It's still async function. So for this one, we are gonna pass the genre ID as the argument to this function. By the way, the Netlify serverless function works, it's gonna take event and context to arguments for the functions, and we are gonna use event argument here to get our query string, which is the genre ID out of the event. For more information, you can just go to the Netlify Serverless Function official doc, and it's very clear there. We are gonna get the genre ID from event.query string. Oh, sorry, string parameters. This is gonna give us an object, and let's do the same. Wait, axios.get. Oops. Nope. We're gonna use this base URL, which is here, and the endpoint we're gonna use is discover, under discover, and when you discover movie, and we're gonna pass the with genre as a query string. You can find these details on the official doc. Query string with genre. Like I said before, this is gonna give us an object, so we're gonna get a value from it. ID. So this key is something you can define on your front end code. So we're gonna do it later. I'm just gonna put ID here for now. Don't forget the API key. Oh, TMDB, I did put down there. Okay. Right, I forgot the try catch bracket again, so let's do it. Oops, all capitalized. I don't need all capitalized. Try this and we catch E. Okay, so if we get the data successfully, we're gonna return a status code. It's 200 and the body was JSON stringify our data. And if we have arrow, it's fine. Let's just print it out. Status code with 500 and the body is E2 string. Oops. Okay, I think that is two serverless functions we're gonna write. For now, we do need another one to get the feature movie, but we're gonna leave it later when we do it in the front end. So let's test it out to see if it works before we move on to the front end code. We can actually test it out in using Netlify CLI to write Netlify dev. Let's see. It's gonna start our server on the localhost 8888, and then we're gonna pass .netlify functions get jars. What I call it? Get jars. All right. Ooh, we got this data successfully. So it means it's working. I'm not gonna try to test this get movies function now because we do need to pass genre ID as the parameter. We're gonna do it later in our front end, but as you can see, this first one is working, so I assume the second one is working. But let's move on to the front end now. For the React code, I think I'm gonna build 3 components: the menu bar, the feature, then the movie sections. We already got the genres and the movie functions done. Let's just start building the main block of the movie sections. Let me create a folder called components. Here is where we're gonna put our components file. And then under components, let me do, we're gonna call it section. Movie section, just call it section. Okay, so I'm gonna import React from React, and then I'm gonna create a section component and then export it. What is it called? Section. So it just act as a template. I'm not gonna put anything in for now, and I'm gonna go, let me close it for now. Go to our app.js. I'm gonna import section from inside the components folder. It's called section. Oops, section. I'm gonna put section here. Let me put, just to verify if it's working. Let's go back to the localhost. We don't need that function. Okay, shows up here. So our front end is working. Now let's work on this section. Actually, let me create other component for now, and we can put all this in the app.js. We need section. We need what I'm gonna call it, menu bar.js. Import React from just test if it's working. Put menu bar here. Okay, and then I'll export it. I'm just gonna copy paste. I'm lazy, and put a feature. We need to have a feature component. Feature. Okay, let us go to the apps and import 3 components. Menu bar, and then we got feature. Okay, we got 3 components rendering on our app.js, and let's think about logic here. So I want to make an API call to get all movie genres in the app.js, and for each genre, create a section, and inside the section to make an API call to get all the movies. Based on that logic, let's make an API call to get all the movie genres. I'm gonna use the use effect for sure. React use effect. Oops, use effect from React. And the way I want it work is to just make one API call to get all genres when the app just started. So I'm just gonna use use effect. Okay, we put an empty array here to make sure it only run once after all the components rendered the first time. And inside here, we're gonna make API calls to our backend. Let's write a function here. What we're gonna call it? Still get It's gonna be an async function, not passing any argument, and let's get data. Oh wait, we're still gonna use XO, so we already installed it. I'm gonna import it here. We're gonna go to .netlify. Like we did before on the address bar, we're gonna put the same thing here. Function. Let's go to functions folder, and the function is called get. Okay. And we're gonna save this data to the state so that we can pass it to the sections. So I'm gonna use state here, use state here, use state. We're gonna call it set. Let's start with nope. Okay, so when we get this thing, we're gonna set Jairus to data. Okay, first let's print out the data to see what it looks like. Okay, don't forget to call it inside the use effect. All right, let's try it. Oops. Oh no, netlify functions schedulers now found. Oh, misspelling. Functions. Let's try it again. Oh, here we got it. I was looking at this one. So we got the data, status, data test, but what we need is only this data section. So we're gonna do the same thing. We get the data out, and we're gonna set Jairus with data. And if you want to double check, we can just console the log. Let me clear first. Okay. Yep. So when the app.js run the first time, we got now, but when everything's rendered, the use effect, this function is gonna run, and gonna make API calls to the serverless function, and we're gonna get the data, and we're gonna use this data to set our state. Okay, so we got our Jairus here. We got 19 Jairus with the ID and the name. And the next thing we do is to pass this Jairus data to the section. We got this data. I'm just gonna put it here as a reference. We're gonna check if we have Jairus. If we do have it, we use the Jairus. We use map method to map every Jairus and render a section component. And if not, we're gonna just render null. And for each section, we're gonna pass the Jairus information in so that we can use it in the section component. And because we're map every Jairus to get a section, so we're gonna pass a key for the React to like distinguish them. We do have an ID for the Jairus, so we can do this. Oops. Jairus map is not a function. All right, let's look close to what we get from here. Actually, we got an object with the key as Jairus, and the array, the values is what we need. So we do need to set the state as data.Jairus. Oh, okay, we got it. We got like 19 sections here. So we're good to go. Let's move on to the section component. We pass the Jairus as the prop here. And let's try Jairus.name. Yep, we got feature, we got action. Oh, feature is our component. We got action, adventure, animation, blah blah blah. We got so many genres here, and let's think how are we gonna show for this section component. What I'm thinking is we have title like Netflix. We have a title there, and we have a row to present the images of each movie. So here we got the genre, but we need to get the movies under genre. So we're gonna make API call here inside the section. So we're gonna use use effect, and I know I'm gonna use state to hold my movie state. And then here we're gonna use the use effect. We're gonna make API calls when the section component rendered the first time. We're gonna make API call to find all the movie data. Const. Let's see data. Oh, we're gonna make a name called get movies. It's an async function, and we do need to pass the genre ID to this function, and we need to get the data out. Oh wait, we're gonna netlify functions get movies, and we're gonna pass the ID as a query string. We're gonna call it ID because remember in this movies we call it ID, so we're gonna use ID here. Okay. Let's console the log data to see what it looks like. We're gonna call it get movies. We're gonna pass in each genre's ID. Okay, the genre is from the prop, right? Okay, let's see. Oh, we got undefined. Oh, I don't know what's going on. I literally forgot put XO here. Oh my god. What I'm thinking. Probably need another cup of coffee. Axios. Wait, axios dot get. Okay. This time it should work, right? Yes, we got this. And what we need is actually the results from the data we got back. This looks like a movie data, right? We got genre, we got ID, we got the title. Oh, avatar, right? We need the results then. And I'm gonna use movies set movies. I'm gonna use the use state. It is an object, right? It is an array, so I'm gonna just do an empty array here. And when we have the data, we are going to set movies with data dot results. Data dot results. All right, and let's console the log movies to see if we get the state right. Okay. They have, you can see we have so many section.js 15 lines here because we have literally 19 genres, and each genre is going to make API call and get its own movie data. So we got probably 19 here. All right, so now we have our movie data. We can try to structure our section component to make it look nicer. So here I'm gonna first do a div with a class name. I'm just gonna put class name here for now, and we're gonna do the CSS styling later after we get the skeleton. CSS, we call it section. I'm gonna call it row, and inside it we have h2 with the name, genre, the prop genre's name, and we got 20 movies back, and for each movie we got the backdrop path. We're gonna use this path to show the image of the movie. So we got an array of movies. We're gonna map each movie to render an image. So you're probably wondering why this URL looks weird, because actually we got to put some base URL in front of it to make it show on our HTML page. And this base URL is, I found this online, so if you don't know what to do, just Google it. Okay, this is base URL. We're gonna have a source, blah blah blah, base URL. Oh, forgot to wrap it. Okay. Movie dot. Do I have the backslash there? I do not, so it's gonna be movie dot backdrop path. Oops. Okay, and give out image for the movie. We got title here, dot title. Don't know why I put this outside. And we're gonna, because we're rendering about 20 images here, we're gonna give it a key. I think they have ID, right? We have ID as a unique identifier for React. Let me save it. Have a look here. Oh, movie is not okay. Spell it wrong. Okay, very big images here, but we do have it showing on our page, which is a success. Let me give its class name then. Let me give this h2 a class name too. Let's do some stylings to make it look nicer. Okay, I'm gonna have another folder called styles. Well, this is all personal preferences to structure the components here. You can have your own way. This is what I usually do. What is it called? Section. I'm gonna have a section.css here. And I'm gonna import, stuff else, section.css. Okay, so we have section row, we have section title, and we have section row poster. So we have 20 images here, and what I want to show is to have a nice row that's where we know we're gonna put the display flex properties on this row. So I'm gonna have a div, put this inside this div. Actually, I'm gonna change this to image, and I'm gonna give this div a class name called section row poster. Okay, let me head over to this CSS file. First, let's do section row poster display flex. Oh, you can see this is flex is just too big, so we're gonna do something about the image. section row poster, we call it image. We're gonna do object fit with content, which will keep its aspect ratio, and we're gonna do a max height. Let's do 100 pixel. Okay, as you can see, it gets smaller, but I don't like they're so close to each other, so I'm gonna put a margin right here. Let's do 10 pixel. Okay. As you can see, when we scroll, because we have 20 images here, when we scroll to the right, and this action, this adventure title just pushed to the left. So we don't want this. We want like the title can stay and we can scroll just the image. So what we're going to do is to use scroll bar, overflow. So left and right is going to be X. Let's do scroll. Okay. See, we can scroll this without scrolling the action. Oh, sorry. Oh God. Okay. But you can see we have this scroll bar here, which I don't like. So we can actually hide it. I think it's WebKit. It's scroll bar. We can hide it. Yeah, it's gone. So the next thing we can do is to add a hover effect on these images. Remember on our demo, when you hover on the image, and it's gonna skew to bigger than its original size. So we can do it by adding a hover effect to it in CSS. Section of poster image, hover. We can do a transform. We do a skew 1.5. Let's see. Wait, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have space here. Oh wow, you can see it's stretched to left and right. Actually, it's stretched to top and down, but because they have like defined space here, so it cannot grow up and down. So let's add a padding to it. By adding padding, let's try 20 pixel. Yep. If you inspect it, here is a div. By adding 20 to the top and the bottom, we can see what the image looks like after it skews. Okay, at this point, I think let's do some styling to the whole page, make it the background black as the Netflix. So I'm gonna go to our index CSS margin. I'm gonna do background color. Let's do a black. Oh, black. Okay, and do color. Let's do the white color for the text. Okay. Actually, I kind of want to change the font. So let me find the font from Google Fonts and change it in a CSS file. So the font I found is called Remo. So I'm gonna put it here and go to our index HTML, put the Google font there. And since we're here, I'm gonna change it to Netlify demo. All right, let's go to our page. Okay, it looks good. But now look at it. It's a little bit jumpy when you hover on each image. We want it to have a nice transition effect. So I'm gonna add a transition here. The effect we're gonna have is transform. Let's do 450 milliseconds. Okay. Wait, does it have any effect? Oh, misspell again, transform. Oh, nice. It's not that jerky anymore. Let me add the margin left for the whole row to give it some breathing room. What is it called? Row? Yeah. Margin left. 30 pixels. Okay. You can see it moves to the right because we have margin left here. All right. Now let's work on the feature component. So after examining the TMDB API docs, actually I find out we don't need to write another API call to get one movie. We can literally using the endpoint as the one we're using to get all the movies under one genre. Actually, this time we don't need to pass any ID so that it will give us a list of movies, and we just pick a random one from it, so that we don't need to write another function. So here, I am gonna do the same thing. Make an API call, use effect. We definitely need use effect. Use state to hold the movie, feature the movie data. And we use effect. Gonna run one time. Get feature. Get feature? Yeah, get feature. It's gonna be an async. It's gonna be an async function, but we don't need to pass any data in. We need to import Axios. Code get movies. So this time we don't need to pass a query screen to that function. Get movies. Let's console.log data, and then okay, let's try it. Original, no. Oh, so there's one image cannot show, but it's not. It's from their API part. It's not our arrow. So let's just ignore it. So we got the data here, and it's from the results still, and we can. So what we need is data.results, and it is an array with 20 movies. Actually, we just need one movie as our feature movie. So we're gonna use the a random function from JavaScript to get a random movie. Const rand. We get a random number. We want integer, so I'm gonna use mathfloor. Math.random. Well, we need data.results.length. Okay. And then we're gonna set movie. Okay. We need a movie state. Data.results give me a random one, and I think that's it. But let's console.log movie to see if we get it successful. Let me clear here. Oh, look at it. We got one movie here. It is called Gall Transportin. Something. Let me refresh it again. Yeah, we got a different one. John Wick Chapter 4. Okay, so we are going to think how we can show this information on our front end. Let's go back to our code. So for this featured component, what we want is we want a container to hold all this data, and we want a content class have the title, the 2 buttons, and description. So let's write a div to hold all the data, and I'm gonna give a class name as feature container. And inside it, we have another div with a class name called feature content. We're going to put all the content there. And in this content, we're going to have h1 with the movie dot, I think we have title, original title. Well, I'm just going to go with title. I don't know what's the difference between these two. And we're going to have button, 2 buttons. So I'm going to have a div to hold to put all these buttons together. Class name, feature, buttons, and we have 2 buttons inside it. They all with a class name, feature button. One is play, and the other one is let's do more info. And under this button, we're gonna have a paragraph to put description there. It should be called description, right? Oh, it's called overview. Okay. Let's see if we got it here. Okay. There's 2 buttons. This is very ugly, but it works. And what we want to put the image in the back as a background image. So I'm gonna just put it here, I guess. Style. We put a style as background image. The reason why I put it here instead of CSS, because we're gonna use the image URL, the path, as a variable. So if I put it in CSS, I cannot change anything there. So the image, we still need that base URL. Let me put it out. When we have movie, we do a URL. Base URL. And we have a movie dot back job path. Or if we don't have movie the first time we render, we haven't have the movie data, we're just gonna put it now here. Oh, okay, wrong place. And then we're gonna use the object fit. We're gonna do cover to keep the content. We're gonna keep the aspect ratio, and we're gonna do center. Position, X and Y, center, both center. Okay, let me see. Oops. Okay. This is very thin, very short div, so we're gonna do some styling. We're gonna create. Why I have this here? Oh, base URL. What's going on? Oh, I somehow have 2 base URL here. Okay, we're gonna create a feature CSS here and import it. Import feature.css. All right. So the first thing we need to do is give this part more head to see the background image. Feature container. Nope. We're gonna give it a head. Oh, white capitalized head. 600 pixel. For this numbers, actually before I do this demo, I already did the project one time, and I kind of like did the experiment to see what is the best number for this component. So you can use this number I'm writing down here, but you can also do your own experiment to find styling that fit for your project. Okay, here we go. We got the picture here. Let's do a background size. Let's do a cover. Okay. And for this content, I want it in the middle. Let's do a head. Again, feel free to do your own experiments to find some red numbers for you. I'm gonna do a 140 pixel. Okay, let's actually align the content with the row title. I remember we give it margin left as 30 pixel, I guess. 30 pixel. Okay, great. Also, I don't like the title and the description go all the way here. First, let's do something about description. This one is alright, it's not too long, but sometimes I saw the movie have a long description and I just don't like how it shows on the page. Let's see if we can find a long one. Oh, alright, because we're using the movie, the state movie, but when we first render our component, the user effect hasn't run, so it's no, we can't have this title. So we're gonna do movie and movie title, movie and movie overview. Okay. Look at this one. This is kind of long. I don't like it. Let me see another one. Alright, it's fine. Yeah, this one is long and I don't want it to show everything. So we're going to use a function to chunk it, the description, into a short description. I'm going to define it here. I'm going to call it chunk it. It's going to take string as an argument, and we define it in like how many characters we want. I'm going to return let's see if string is longer than that. If it's longer, we're gonna do a substring from 0 because this one doesn't come, or we just use string. If it's not long enough, we're gonna just do original string. Right, I'm gonna add dot 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 in the end to let people know, it is truncated. It's not the whole description. And we're gonna change it here. Oops. We're gonna do 150. Wait, I don't think it's working. Oh, I just need its length. Okay. All right, we got it. Wake must face dot 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 dot. Okay, that's what I want. But the description is too long. Actually, I need to limit its width in a CSS file. What is it called? Feature. I need to give it a class name first. Feature. This is content. Let's do a description description, and this we do a class name feature. We do a title. Okay, feature description. Let's give it 360 pixel. Okay, and the title too. But first, let's do a len hat 1.3. Let's do some extra styling. So make it smaller. Okay. Let's do some styling for the title too. Let's do a font size. Okay, I think it looks good for me. And let's style in the buttons now. Okay, and we need a hover effect. Because remember, when you hover the Netflix button, it has a letter background. So we're gonna do feature button. Okay, and oh, I want the text to be black now. Color, just do black. Okay, all right, but let's give it transition to make it not look like so jumpy. Let's do ease in and out. Let's do 0.2 seconds. Maybe I want it a little bit slower. Too slow. Let's do 3. I think it's fine for me, but feel free to add your own styling to it. Okay. But right, there's another part. If you look at the Netflix, you will see they have like the black backdrop there. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna put it here. This is a whole div, and this is the content. Under the content, we're gonna have another div. I'm gonna call it feature mask, because it's like a mask. Key. Feature mask. Background. So we need to add a linear gradient effect to it. Let me do a 180 degree, I think. Colors 37, 37, 7. Once again, I did the experiment before, so I know the numbers here. Don't just think I came up with these weird numbers. No, I don't. 0, 0, 0. I need to put transparent there to make it transparent. Okay, let's try it. Oh, I need a hat, otherwise you can't see anything there. I think I tried the 17 REM. Okay, yep, you see that nice black thing here? Okay, now we can move on to the last component, menu bar. We can see from our demo that we have a menu bar here on the top. We have the Netflix logo on the left and the profile picture on the right side. So we're gonna implement in our front end code now. For this menu bar, we're gonna have a div with class name called menu bar. And inside the menu bar, we're going to have 2 images. I'm going to move all the images here under the public folder. Okay, we have a logo, Netflixy, and we have an avatar here. Okay, let me do the src. Source is images on the public images folder. It's called logo.png, and we'll get an out Netflixy logo. And then we give it a class name as menu bar logo. And then we have another image, but this one is for the avatar. Avatar.jpg and profile image. All right, let's head to our demo. Oh, we got this shown up here, but they're so big. Now we're gonna add some basic styling to these two images. I'm gonna create a menu bar .css and we'll import it. We have menu bar, we have menu bar logo, we have menu bar avatar. Okay, we going to go here. Let's do menu bar logo. Let's give it width 8 rem. I'll give menu bar avatar width 3 rem. All right, it gets smaller. Menu bar position text. Okay, see, you can see it's on top of here. And now we add padding, and we put Netflix on the left and put the avatar on the right. Position fixed, we do a left, give it some space. Okay, one is on left, one is on right. We need some padding here. We do a padding top. Oh, we do 20 pixel. We do a padding bottom. We do a 20 pixel. Okay. In the demo, we have a nice black background of the menu bar. When you scroll down, and it will show up here just to make the menu bar clear. We're gonna do that too. Let's head back to our code, and first I'm gonna try it here. We put an inline style here, style background. We do a black. Let's see how it looks like. Oh, the head actually is 0 now. We do a head as 40. Let me see. We do width 100%. Okay, here we go. We got it. I feel like I want it thinner. So I'm gonna change to 30 pixel. Yep, the head is fine, but we can see this avatar is too close to the bottom, so I'm gonna move it up a little bit. This is top. I tried 20 pixel, it's fine for me. Looks like in the middle. Okay, we got it. But actually, this is not what we want. We don't want the background here when users not scrolling. We just want to show when the user starts scrolling down. So we're gonna add an event listener to this navbar component. Come back to our code. We know we're gonna definitely use effect to add event listener to it. Use effect and use a piece of state to decide whether or not we're gonna see this background, black background. So let's define the event listener here. Use effect. We want it run the first time after the component is rendered, and we put a function here. Window dot add event listener. Event listener is scroll the event, and we pass a callback function here. We want the background to show when the user scroll up or down. So we're gonna do if window.scroll y, which is up and down, more than 100. For this, then we have set. So we're gonna have a state here. We call it is shown. Is this black background shown or not? Set is shown. Oh. Okay, so we use state. We start with false. So it's not shown because when the user just come to our app, they're not scrolling, the background is not showing, we use false. But if they start to scroll, we are gonna set is shown state to true. Else we set it still to false. All right, this is basic logic, but don't forget to remove the event listener. Use the return function here. Window dot remove event listener. We're gonna remove this scroll event. Pause the second one and pause it now. Okay, so come down here. We don't want it show the black background all the time. We want use the piece of state to decide whether or not we're gonna see this background. So we're gonna do is shown black. Let's see. So we come here, everything looks fine. This looks like transparent. They don't have background here, but when we scroll, it shows up. See? But it just looks so jumpy. I don't like it. I'm gonna add a transition effect to it. Let's go to the CSS file, navbar. We're gonna add a transition effect. Let's do easy. 6.5 a second. Let's see. Oh, see that like fade in, fade out effect? We have this on our navbar. It looks really nice here. All right. I think that's our navbar component. Remember in our demo, except all these generous sections, we have a Netflix trending section, which the pictures here are not like a screenshot of the movies. They're actually the posters, so they have different stylings. We are using the section component here, just different stylings. So how are we gonna do that? First, we're gonna write a new function called getTrending.js. We head over to the API. Actually, the endpoint we're gonna use is this one. So we can choose what medium tab we're gonna use: movie, TV, or person, and in a day or in a week. Let's do movie in a week. Okay, the logic here, it's the same. We use Axios to fetch the data. Exports dot handler. We use async function. We don't need to pass any arguments, and we do a try catch block. And inside the try block, we do const data equals await Axios get. We need API Key, and we got that. Where's that base URL? We use this. Okay. This is base URL, and we do trending. Trending, and we do movie, and we do week, and then we pass the API key equals process.env.tmdb API key. Okay. When we have this data, we are gonna return it. Status code 200, and we have this data come back. We stringify it. If there's the arrow, then we catch it. 500. We turn this to a string. All right. I think this will do for us. And then let's go to our front end. Let's go to app.js. So like I said before, I want to reuse our section component with different styling. So first I'm gonna put another section here, but you will see we are gonna have this arrow because inside our section, actually we pass the genre in, and inside it we use the genre ID to get the movies, and we pass the name to it. So the name we're gonna use for sure. So I am gonna manually pass the prop here. Remember, the structure of this genre is ID with a number and the name with the genre's name. Actually, we don't need ID. We just need it for the key here. So I'm just gonna put a name here. We're gonna call it Netflixy, popular trending. All right. Okay, you can see here we are literally using the same component with a different name here, but let's go inside it. Actually, here we don't want it called the function get movies. We want it called the function get trending. So I think we might need use this as a prop. Let us decide what kind of function we want to call. So here I'm gonna do, let's do function name. I'm gonna use get trending, and this function name, we're still gonna use get, what we call it, movies, get movies. All right, so we head over to our section. We need to write this out, function name. So here is literally not get movies. It should be the prop function name, either get movies or get trending, depends on what we passed in. Function name. Okay. Let me console log function name here. So you can see we should have 19 different genre names and one Netflix trending. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about function name. So we have 19 get movies and one get trending. Oh, get trending is not defined. Oh, I know what's going on. I cannot pass it as variable. I need to do it as string because they are literally strings. Okay, let's try it again. Yep. Oh, I somehow got arrows here. Okay, see, we got a lot of get movies, but actually we got one get trending. So it comes from here. So it's working. And let's have a closer look at this use effect function here. So everything works fine, but looks different because in our demo, we have different settings here. We use it as a poster instead of like this kind of screenshot backdrop image. So here we're gonna do different. What I'm gonna do is to pass in another prop called is large. If the prop is large, then we know we need to use a different styling to make it look like a poster. So here I'm gonna do pass the prop is large. So if I'm writing is large here, it means we pass is large as true for this prop, and if we omit it in the section component, it means is large is undefined. So we can use that to distinguish the difference. We don't need to literally write is large equals true or is large equals false here. So head over here, we pass the is large. So the first difference we are gonna make is the image. We don't need to use this backdrop path. For this movie data, they actually have one called poster path. So this is what we're gonna use. So for the image source, if we have is large, then it means it is under the trending section. We want the poster. We are gonna use, oh, actually we can do this because base URL is not gonna change. So we're gonna do is large. We're gonna do movie dot, what is it called? Poster path. Poster path. Otherwise, we're gonna use the backdrop path. Let's see if it's gonna change. Yep. You can see this all changed to the posters, but we still want the hover effect, but we don't want the poster this small, so we're gonna add extra styling to it. We can use the is large as well for the styling. So when we have is large here, we actually give it another class name. Call is large. So for everyone, we got section, row, poster, image. We have two things here. But if we have is large. We're gonna do a large as well. Okay. Let's hover back here. Do an inspection. You can see for this image, we have section row poster image and it's large. But for others, they only have section row poster image but undefined. Okay, I don't want that undefined. I'm just gonna do, if we have this, they have empty. Okay. All right, so that undefined is gone. Good. Now we go to the CSS file to define what is this is large class should be. It's large, so we're gonna make it large. We got a max head, got a 250 pixel. When we skew it, it's 1.5, so it's too large. We only have a padding of 20 pixel, I remembered, on top and bottom. So let's just make it smaller for the skewed. Skew, actually, let's do a 1.2. All right, it still have a little bit of crop effect, but I don't really mind that. Before 1.5 is like too large, it's too obvious, but now 1.2 seems fine to me. So actually, I think this black job is too much. I want to move the Netflix trending a little bit taller to cover a little bit this black backdrop. Let's try it. Features, we got a container here. I'm gonna change it to position absolute. Okay, I'm gonna do a width as 100% and I want it on the top. Oh, and our nav bar is gone, so I'm gonna do a z index -1. Okay, then I want to push the Netflix trending down. Before we have the head 600 pixel, we have the mask had 617 RAM. Let me try to push it down a little bit. So on this section, because we're using the same component here, so for this, I'm gonna add a style just when it is the trending section. Because we're using is large. We're gonna do margin top. So if it's large, we're gonna give it, let me try 500 pixel, and otherwise we're just gonna leave it empty. Let's try features index. Let's do the menu bar index as 1. Oh, index as 1. As 2. Then we're gonna move this menu bar top to 0. Okay, it comes back. Well, thank God. All right, we got this here. And this thing is not, it's gone, so we need the feature container z index -1. Okay, it comes back. All right, it looks all right. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I just feel like the description is a little bit too close to this section, so I'm gonna move it down a little bit. Where's the section 5 300. Okay, yep, I think that is good for me. So we have the last feature left to implement, which is the trailer, movie trailer. So 2 packages I'm gonna use to show the movie trailer is React YouTube and a movie trailer. That's right, movie trailer. Let's install it first. Let's come back here. npm install movie trailer. So this movie trailer package can help us to find the trailer for most of movies on YouTube. So we're gonna use this to find our trailers and use the React YouTube package to display this video. All right, we forgot to install React YouTube. So what I want to do for our application is when we click it, it will show the movie trailer below this movie. This is section, this is the image. So we're gonna have a div here. And I'm gonna give it a class name called section row trailer. Okay. Then we're gonna import. Let me see. I don't want to make it wrong. So it's YouTube. We're gonna use this component from React YouTube. And we can see from here, we're gonna pass a video ID. This component is gonna kind of like search this video ID on YouTube to display it. And we're gonna pass a config here. Gonna give a height for 500 pixel. Give it width 100%. Oh, and the configurations, play vars, which is object, autoplay is one, which it means it will autoplay. So we missed this video ID here. That's where we are gonna use the movie trailer package. So you can see from here, it is like a function we're gonna call movie trailer and pass the movie title there, or we can pass the TMDB ID here instead of the title to make it like more exact. And since we're using TMDB, so we're just gonna make sure we're passing the right thing. So that's what I'm gonna use. Since we're gonna use the serverless function, I'm just gonna put it here still. Under the functions, we're gonna make this API call in our backend, get trailer.js. So we're gonna do const. We can still use Axios to fetch the data. From the doc, we know we're gonna pass the API key. So I still need to use that. So this is an async function. You can see from here. So let's do that. Async function. And I'm gonna try and catch. So the way we do is first we import this package, movie trailer, and then we call await movie trailer, and let's go to the doc. This way it passes the title, but actually we don't we want to pass the TMDB ID. So it says if it search for TMDB, pass null. So let's do null here, and then we come to the options. We get options, we need API key, and we need the TMDB. And actually we need to do this because we only need the YouTube video IDs to pass to our sections YouTube component. So we only need that ID. Okay. So here we're gonna go. We only need that ID, so it's a boolean, so we're going to do true. And then what do you call API key? TMDB.API key. And we also need the TMDB ID, which we need to pass from our front end. So like we did it before, we need to pass event here. We need to get that. Oops. We need to get that string, that ID from the query string. We're gonna call it ID event dot. This is ID with TMDB. We're gonna do. I'm gonna only have the ID here. Okay. Let's return status 200. Oh. Okay. I think we can go to, oh, actually here we don't need axials because we're using movie trailer. So we need to find an on-click function. So when the user click on this image, on this poster, we're gonna show this trailer. And when the user click that again, we're gonna hide this. So let's do an on-click and make event handler handle click. Let's make it more specific. Handle poster click. Okay. So I think we need a piece of state. Is trailer shown, and set is trailer shown. Use this. So first we give it a false, so it's not showing. And then we need to define our event handler and poster click. So we're gonna do this as an async function because we're gonna make API calls to our backend. Const, let me set data with. Okay, I think we need to pass the ID to the function. So we're gonna pass an ID as a function. Examples dot get. Go to functions, and this is called get trailer. First, let's console log data. Let me see what it looks like. So we need to pass the ID here, so we need to change it. We're gonna use the movie. We got movie here. Oh, we got get movies. All right, we got movie here. Movie.id. Okay. Relevant section. Oh, because I haven't passed it here. Let me hide it first. Let me click it. We got data here. This is what we need. We only need this data here. This is the YouTube video ID. So I'm gonna grab that one. Oh, here we go. So we do data, and that's what we need. Try it one more time. Yep, this is what we need. And we need this. We can set is trailer shown. Oh, actually, you know what? I think we can directly use the trailer ID as a state. We don't need two pieces of state here. We just need a trailer and set trailer, because we can literally using this trailer for the YouTube ID. Use this piece of state. So we're gonna do an now here. So when we got the data out, when we got the video ID, we can set trailer as this video ID, and in here we can pass the state here. Oh, we can pass the state here, and so this is only handling click on the poster, and we're gonna show the trailer. But what if the trailer already show? We want to click and head it, so we need to check the piece of state. If we have trailer here, so it means we're already showing a trailer. We're gonna set trailer as null. If not, it means we have nothing going on here. We are gonna show the trailer. And for this part, we only show it when we have trailer. Okay, let's try it. Oh, here we go. I think it's coming. Yep, we're so loud. Yep, I think it's working, and we close it. We show it. And we close it. It works for the journals as well. Okay, I think it works very well, but the last thing I want to do is, what if the user want to see the trailer of this feature movie as well? So we are gonna have the same logic here when the user click on the button play. Let's do the last feature here. So for this button, actually, I am gonna have a click handler handle play. We're gonna have the same logic here. Okay, so we need pass ID as well. Functions, and we will do functions, and we will get trailer. Pass the ID as a query string. Gonna have a trailer here as a piece of state. Oops. So here I have the same logic. If we already have trailer, we are gonna stop playing it. Otherwise, we get the trailer information and set trailer as data with the YouTube video ID. And handle play here should be this, we are gonna pass the movie dot ID. Okay. Now, like the section components, I don't want the trailer play under the section. I want to play right here. So I am gonna put the trailer down here. Let me just copy paste the one we had before. I'm gonna change it to feature trailer, and we render YouTube component. We pass that trailer ID in, and we have this thing here. Okay, let me. YouTube is not defined. Okay, we need import definitely YouTube. Yeah, it's down here. Okay, actually it's working, but we need, what I want is to have that YouTube video cover this image. So let's do some styling. Gonna give it a class name, feature trailer. We're gonna let it have a position of fixed. I want it on top of that image. All right. Let me do some styling to the iframe. We have a head of 600 pixel. Okay. But our title and our description, our buttons are gone, so I need let them show. Okay, it comes back. So when we click play, it's gonna play, and when we click it again, it will stop. But one thing I noticed is when we are playing the trailer for the feature, and when we scroll, it's still gonna play on the background, and I don't want that. So I want when we start scrolling down, it actually stops playing. So we're gonna do the same thing as we do for the background of the navbar. We're gonna add an event listener of scroll to this video. So I'm gonna write another use effect just to make it look more clear. We're gonna add event listener of scroll to it, pass a callback function. Logic is the same here. If we start to scroll down, we're gonna stop playing the trailer. Set trailer goes down now. And then don't forget to clear the event listener. Alright, let's try it out. We are gonna play it now. And let's scroll. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want. Because I think it's kind of weird when we start scrolling, but we have the trailer play background. Alright, I think that is it. We finished this project Netflix clone, and the last step left for us to do is to deploy it on Netlify so that you can share it with your friends, with your family, to let them see your work. Okay, let's do the last step. We already installed the Netlify CLI, so we're just gonna use it directly here. Okay, let me stop this first. Okay. We are gonna first create a set on Netlify. Netlify sets, create it. Okay, they're gonna give us some props. I'm gonna just put under my team and I give a name, Net Flexi Demo. Feel free to name whatever you want. And then we have URL, we have a set ID here, just to make sure if everything's linked, because sometimes I'm just paranoid. I'm just gonna do netlify link. Oh, actually it shows here. Set already linked to Netflix demo. Okay, now we need to do is, remember we have a .env file here, so we're gonna let Netlify know our environment variable. Netlify env set, what is it called? env.env.env TMDB API Key, and copy paste this. Actually, we don't need to do this on the CLI. They have a nice user interface. You can just go Netlify website and do it right there. But since we already got it installed, so let's just use it here. Okay, it says set environment variable in the all context. That's what we want. And now we need to build it before deploy it. Netlify build. It's gonna take a while. Let's wait here. You see this here? We specify it in our TOML file. So actually, when we say build, it's gonna run the command. Okay, it says Netlify build complete, and now we have one last step to do. We are gonna deploy it. Netlify deploy. Okay, here we go. All right, deploy is live. That's what you want to see. And we have a log here, and we have our URL here. Let's go have a look. All right, look at it. We have all the basic features implement on our Netflix clone project. We can watch trailer here, and we can watch trailer here, and when we scroll down, it's gonna start playing, and we have the nice background on the navbar. Actually, you can play movies, TV, like some menus here if you want. There are a lot of things you can do for this project. These are just some basic features, and I think it's pretty cool to implement for this project. But feel free to add more features there and make some different stylings as you want. So that is it. This is not a hard project, and I feel like I learned a lot from this, and I hope you do too. Thanks for taking the time, code along with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.